Good morning, everybody. Morning, Deborah. Keith, good morning. Morning, Rod, Chad. How y'all doing today? Hope everybody's well. So missed last Friday because of Naomi having surgery. She had a lumpectomy, so they took out part of her breast. They think they got all of that spot, but there's some other spots, so just time will tell. So if y'all would continue to pray for her for that. We're only live on YouTube today, so tying up some jigs, Bob. Good morning to you. She's doing all right. It didn't help that the Doberman bumped her boob. Kind of got her a little bit, so it made her pretty sore for a day or two, but she's doing all right now. Yeah, we're going with all blue today. So just tying up some stuff. Thought I'd do some. I did this whole last week. I was tying up black body colors, so everything was dark on the body. Matter of fact, everything was black, and so we did like chartreuse and black. We did chartreuse yellow and black, chartreuse and green and black, and then we did some chartreuse tail with red head and some chartreuse yellow. I appreciate that, Bob. So we're just kind of doing our thing, tying up some jigs, trying to fill the box. Right now, shipping is so crazy because they upped the shipping almost 25% on pre-holiday stuff. So I have Bob them the stuff that Castaway Crew won. It'll get out, but it might be a minute. So I'm not promising that they're going to get it before Christmas. Let's put it that way. I've got everything ready to go. It's the shipping right now is just nuts, and I don't want to make anybody have to pay more for shipping. So I'm just asking everybody right now to be patient with me. If you really need that sent, need your orders sent out, then it's going to cost a little bit more for shipping, but it'll, if you can just wait until after the Christmas, then things will get, you know, I can do that, Bob. So, in other words, you want me to go ahead and get them out? I'll try to get them out today. I'll have Naomi do that. It's just crazy that the post office does that. We own the post office. It's a government built, office, so our taxes help subsidize it. I didn't put any flash in that jig. Well, you put that in my box. I want a couple of them anyways. Sitting here thinking of everything. But yeah, today I got a lot to do. So I got a Mercury Sable that's in the shop right now. The mice ate some of the wires to the fuel injection on that 4.6. So I got to work on that for a guy and get him back on the road. They ate the wires clear through on number 7 cylinder, and then they ate part of the fuel line that goes across the bridge on the front rail, on the front fuel rail. So I'm trying to see if I can get a compression line for that. I got to work on that today, and then this afternoon I got to go over to Wichita, go get more materials for jigs. The air filter in that car is like so clogged up, I don't even see how the car was able to breathe. So I talk him into getting an air filter, and if he doesn't want me to put it in, then he needs to get one himself. But that car needs a little love, because the mice have just, I took the air breather out of the air filter out of the air breather box, and there was a rat living in there. Bad thing is, now I think the stupid thing is in my shop. So I put some bait blocks down and some mouse traps. And then the only thing I got left on that order, Bob, is I got to get a box. I ran out of boxes. So I'll get a box today too. The tackle box that the jigs go in. I gotta get a box. I'm gonna pick up a few if they got them. Hopefully they'll give them to me wholesale. They're only $2 difference from wholesale to not wholesale, but flash, David, flash. Don't forget the flash. Almost forgot the flash again. But yeah, so, and then my son on Tuesday took his paramedic national exam, his national exam, the exam that paramedics have to do here in Kansas. So he was so sick going to that, he thought he failed it, and he was having such a hard time that morning. And then they emailed him about 2 o'clock telling him that he passed. So that took a big relief off of him. He was happy from then on, and he had graduation that night too. So he graduated from Cali down in Wellington, their paramedic program they have. He was so upset because he thought he was going to have to, because if you don't pass the paramedic exam, then you got to pay the $14,000 back to the state of Kansas, because he got a grant. Since he's a firefighter EMT, he got a grant to go to paramedic. So luckily, he fulfilled his obligations to fulfill that grant. So now he's in the clear. So he's so happy that he passed, and we are too. We're proud of him. So there's what that one looks like. So he also yesterday we had 60-mile-an-hour gusts in Kansas, and they closed down a few highways and stuff. But we moved him back from Wellington back to Kingman. He's staying out at the farm with his grandmother. He's living upstairs. There's like it's room and that kind of stuff upstairs. Good morning. Says crystal, but it's not crystal. So, but yeah, so yesterday we loaded up my truck and his 4Runner and my 16-foot trailer full of all of his stuff and drove head on into 40-mile-an-hour sustained and 60-mile-an-hour gusts. All the way up here is over an hour drive, and it was bad. We didn't lose anything off the trailer. The mattress kind of started to flip up once, but it was strapped down in the middle, so only half of it came up. Then his cover to his smoker got tore up. There's somebody. I cannot pronounce that. I'm not even going to try. That feather's awful. But good morning to you. Yeah, I'll see you too, James. But yeah, so we got him back here got all of his stuff unloaded. To move him, it took about 8 hours to get down there and get everything loaded up, and then get back up here and unload everything. So that was a fun day. My back is sore. I didn't help a whole lot, but I did help. The floor out there is not strong enough to hold his gun safe, so he's got the gun safe is here at the house. My floors are concrete with floating laminate flooring on top of it, so it'll hold the weight. And why it's here, don't think I ain't gonna use it, because I am. We got it. He's got it fairly loaded up, anyways. But I only have two left, so I went ahead and put them in there instead of having them in my room. River Rat, good morning to you, bud. Come on, lay down.
Eat it. Thank you.
Mom's trying to get the dog to take his pill, or to take her pill. She didn't want to. So she had to hide it in some food. She's been itching and stuff, and it's not. I think she's just got dry skin. So the vet gave her a pill to take. It's not fleas, and none of the dogs got fleas, thank God. And it's not mange or nothing like that. It's just the dogs are itchy. But she's a fluffy little thing, because it's only the little dog that's got the problem. Just scratching, chewing on her butt, trying to pull out her fur. But I got I got quite a few jigs tied up this week. I've been fairly busy though, so I didn't get as many done as I wanted to. But I got a couple hundred done, so good enough for now. We're going to run over to Bass Pro today and hit that. Got a couple things I want to get while I'm there and drop off some stuff to a couple people. But yeah, so, but at first I got to work on that Mercury. Fords are fairly easy, especially the 4.6, 4.8s, 5.0s. They're all easy. Hardest part is you got to take off all kinds of stuff to just get down to the injectors. They've got like a big air intake plenum, so got to take that off to get enough wire exposed to get where the mice ate it. Need to quit working on everybody else's stuff and get my Rambler done. Naomi keeps asking me when I'm going to paint it. Well, when I get done with the body work, I'm about done. I literally only need 3 or 4 more hours on that body, and then I can get it all done in primer. Part of the car's in primer, part of it's in raw still. I need to get the epoxy primer on there and then hit it with the high build, and then sand the whole car back down, and then I'll be able to shoot it and get all that done here in the next month, I hope. Then as soon as I'm done with that car, I'm going to drive it a couple times and I'm going to sell it. I'm tired of looking at it. Did all this work for the last few years on it and basically rebuilt the whole Rambler. That Rambler has been the kind of a pain in the butt. I mean, it started off that it was about folded in half when we took it off the trailer, so the firewall had a lot of rust and stuff where the leaves had piled up, but all that's fixed now, and the car's a good solid car. I mean, most of that stuff's been fixed since, the first year I bought it. I've had it for like 8 years now. I went too far on this car. I should have never even tried to paint it. I should have just took the windows out and put the windows back in and replace all the seals. But when I got that out, I was like, well, I'll fix this spot. And then it turned into, I'll fix this spot. Then it turned into, oh, hey, let's just fix this spot. And now all the spots are fixed, but the car's got enough raw metal, it just needs to be painted. And go back with the original ivory and gold. The top was gold, and the roof was gold, and then the car was ivory. The rims were gold, so the rims are already back to gold. They've been that way for a couple years. And then Naomi had her rollover wreck, and life's been on hold the last 4 years. We were going through all of that and her recovery. I mean, it took her a couple years to really recover, and she's still not recovered, so she still has problems, mainly with walking and lifting and getting around. So but yeah, but now we're back to doing things, and every time I work on my Rambler, I get going good, and then need to work on another vehicle, so then I have to push the Rambler forward out of the way. But yeah, it's been. Oh, good thing is all the Ramblers have all really jumped up in price. Naomi made some fudge. She was just showing me the fudge that she made. I don't know why she's showing me. I can't eat it.
You can have this.
Well, we got Christmas all pretty much settled, and everything is, all the gifts have been bought for a while, but we're actually going to do Christmas on Christmas Day, which in past we've done it like Christmas Eve or that weekend before or weekend after. This year we're actually going to do it on Christmas Day since my son moved back to town. Him and his girlfriend Brittany will be here, so it'll be our first Christmas with her as well. That'll be wonderful. She's a great girl. But me and Gregory are going to take advantage of all these temperatures this week too. It's supposed to be in the 70s for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. So Christmas Eve we'll probably go fishing. The ice only lasted a couple days here. Now the ice is gone again. So we are going to take advantage of it and go see if we can't get some crappie. Probably just go to our farm pond the first day. I really need to take some fish out of there. I need to get some. I need to have an event, where we can get a few people to come and fish with us out there and catch a bunch of crappie. Take some. The last time we went out there and tried to do that, we took some minnows, and they weren't even biting the minnows. So it was like a waste of buying the minnows. I think the biggest problem was the minnows were so big. But now this time of year, they're wanting bigger baits. So maybe, or at least it's getting to the time of year. Last few weeks while it was cold, they were wanting small stuff. So like 1/64th, 1/32, that kind of thing. And now they're back to hitting the 16ths and the 8ths. So maybe they'll, or at least they're back to hitting the 16ths. I caught a couple on 8ths, but it seemed like the bite was better on 16ths. So this size here, we want to get it to where we're getting a pretty consistent bite on 8ths before we really try to buy some more minnows. And that's if we can even find them, because this time of year they don't really sell too many minnows. Most of the people that sell them are out of stock right now. So, but Gregory's been getting them on gulp pretty good. And gulp minnows always work great. So I'm trying a new nibble. So I got normally I use the Berkeley little nibbles, and this last time I got some. They changed over to there. They got some that are called crappie nibbles instead of just the regular Berkeley nibbles. I think the Berkeley nibbles have a different formula. Jungle Tube. Name you who dad. But yeah, we got some choices. As far as where to go fishing, because the crappie are kind of turning on everywhere again. I think they're confused with this warmer weather coming back. I know yesterday with that high winds, man, the waves on some of the lakes were 3, 4 foot tall. But 60-mile-an-hour gusts will do that, and 40 sustained. I think here most of our winds were about 35 sustained. They had higher winds than that up north. They shut down the road up by Colby and Goodland, which that's a couple hours away from us, or a few hours away. These blue feathers are awful thin. Having to stack of quite a few of them on there to get the thickness I want. Then I can't see this blue very well. This blue flash kind of blends into all my other colors. Help if I clean the desk, probably. I still got a bunch of stuff on my desk here. It's kind of spread out. Whoop. Bobbin keeps getting in my way. The Dow is at 48,150. That's pretty good. The CPI went to 2.7, so inflation is down. That's a good deal. And then fuel's down too. Gasoline is gotten quite a bit cheaper. Hopefully we can get that gas back down. I mean, it was only 230 something the other day a gallon, which is good. Let's keep it going that way and keep it going down further. My truck is thirsty. I only get 14 miles to the gallon in my truck, but I have a 6.2, so yesterday I was getting 10 miles to the gallon towing the trailer full of stuff, and then when I turned head on into that high wind, man, it went down to 8. But having a lifted truck, it hits that wind pretty good, let me tell you. Gregory's off to the thrift store. See what he can find after they had their sale last week. Last week he brought home some goodies. Nothing major though, just some more cars and stuff. But I know y'all like seeing his thrift store finds. So he'll be home after a little bit, and then we'll do What You Got Gregory segment. That and they reclassified weed. So now they're going to be able to do studies and stuff on it. That's pretty cool. It'll be able to help the people that really need it. Maybe they'll find out if it's got any true medical benefits or not. I believe it does for certain people. I did it for years, and I don't anymore because of my heart attack. Every time I tried, it just made my blood pressure drop too much, and then I started having problems. It calmed me down too much. But being in a wheelchair, I tried everything I could for pain, and to where I hated pills. I wouldn't take none of the pills from the doctor. I haven't done any of the prescriptions from the doctor for years. I just dealt with the pain, and now my pain tolerance is so high that I just, like, right now my back feels like it's on fire. And I even went to the gym this morning I keep trying to challenge the trainer to, being in a wheelchair, them trying to come up with ideas for me to do exercises, to do things with the group, because we do group training. So they have to modify things. So because I can't do squats and things like that. But so they come up with other stuff, dumbbell presses and stuff from my back, bending over and that kind of stuff. So picking up weight. There's another one. But I do a lot of dumbbell work anyways. Do the battle rope, that big old heavy rope that you sit there and I'm sure y'all have seen it, where you go like this with the big old where you go like this with the big old rope. So I do that. That kind of moved. Do that to get my heart rate up, and then do a bunch of dumbbell stuff. Trying to stay healthy and keep losing weight. Losing weight's the biggest thing. Is I've lost 60 pounds now, so losing that weight helped my heart quite a bit. There's some days I still feel kind of, tired or whatever, but I think that's just getting old. Well, I didn't like how long those were. You don't like what what you tied up, just unwrap your stuff, give her a little trim, move her back up, and then lock her back down. It don't take but a second. I missed that. There we go. Need just a little more feather in that one. Like I said, these feathers, look how thin that looks. Just got to pile it in there. That one also has a goofy tip, so we'll get rid of the tip on that. Been doing this whole vertical mode on the phone instead of the horizontal. Just been using YouTube to stream. Y'all know me. I was having guests and stuff come up for long. I did that for a while and stuff, but people just can't hold their tongue. They got to say cuss words and stuff like that, and I don't like that in my live. Or they would smoke on camera, and I don't like that neither. We have kids that watch. There's some boys from church that watch, and they're like 8 and 12. So I want to keep it clean. They don't need that kind of influence. One of the little boys, he comes up to me and he taps my leg to talk to me. So he'll like come up and stand beside me when I'm talking to somebody else, and he'll tap my leg. It's so cute. And he would be like, so then he'll ask me fishing questions and ask me what if I'm going fishing this week, or he keeps asking me if I'm going to the park. He likes to fish the park, and he keeps asking me if I'm going to the park. And right now there's just not much happening at the park, so they every time a tree falls in there, they take it out, and now they've cleaned up all the trees around it, so there's not much structure in there. And some people have put a couple big flatheads in that little 2-acre pond, so they've eaten up a lot of the stuff. So and yeah, pretty much I'm tying blues today, so this is all y'all gonna see probably. I could change the jig up, if I did though, I would just put like a white tail on it or go to a different color completely. But I need to tie up a few dozen of these, so y'all happen to be here while I'm doing it. Need to tie up a bunch of marabous as well, but I've been working on hackle lately for more than anything. So I don't know if you can't see that box that's hidden behind me, but I have a box that I put my jigs in. Once I get my jigs tied up and thrown in the little zippy bags, then I will. So what I do is I'll put them in here. So I have a few hundred in here, so it doesn't look like it, but there's just rows of jigs, and I'll pack them up like this in the little bag, and then I'll take and I'll put a label on them. But I've got new labels now, so my new labels reflect my new logo. Get out a box of them here. So I got some new labels for my jigs. See if I can just get one out. Oh, get back on there. The box is gonna fight me now. Tried to open it up. Now get in there. There. Get it shut. So what I did was I had some cards made up like this. And then what I do is I just fold them over in half like this. See that? And then I can put them on like that and then staple it, and then I can put a hole through there so I can hang it on pegboard when I go to shows and stuff. So works out pretty smart. Hey LG. Well, Tom, how you doing? But yeah, we got a show coming up, so I'll be at the Wichita Boat Show this February. That's my first big show that I'm doing besides when we went to CatCon a couple years ago, but I didn't have a booth there. I was just a visitor. And now we're gonna have us a booth at the Wichita Boat Show, so that'll be fun. So if y'all can make it to that, come by the booth and say howdy. I will. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing stickers that day or not. I'm starting to run low on stickers again, and the company that I had do my stickers, it took them a couple times to get them right. I know that it was a new employee that he had, is what he said, but they put a pretty good dent in my truck when they put my um, windshield label on my truck. They dented my hood, and then there were some issues with me on that. And they were like, "Oh, it'll push out." And yeah, well, yeah, if you go get a dentless paint guy to do it, but they didn't want to take care of it, so that's kind of where I'm at. And I never even paid them for those stickers neither, because they dented my hood. They want to come after me for that. I will come after them for the dent in my hood. According to the body shop, it's $400 dent. So it's what happens when they put their knee on my hood and tried to put my sticker on by bracing themselves on my hood. Hi, Rick. How you doing, brother? So there's another one. That one's got that feather had a little curve in it, so it'll poof out a little bit. But Gregory should be home here in the next 10-15 minutes, and then we can do what you got, Gregory. It's pretty cold this morning too, so they go down there and stand in line outside the store and try to be the first ones in. So they go down there about half an hour before it opens, and so they were standing in 26-degree weather, because that's how cold it was this morning. I was like, y'all are nuts. Why do you go down there and stand in line that long to just to get in the thrift store? I was like, that's just crazy. But a bunch of older people working in the thrift store is probably 80 degrees, it seems like. So they'll get warmed up quick once they go inside. Put me on big screen, you might hurt your TV. Put this on big screen, you might get the black bars on the side of it the way I do this. I do apologize for that, but this is easy, so that makes viewing a lot better, and you get a little bit more views. They don't stay very long. You get people come and go pretty quick when you do the lives this way. But I am just tying jigs. So some people, that ain't their thing, you know. Some people like come in and watch for a minute or two and then jump out, which that's fine. That's why there's so many people online. You pick and choose who you watch. Ah. Oh, there's Gregory right now. Or is that Matt? Oh, that's both of them. So the boys are home. So as soon as Gregory gets his stuff undone, unpacked, we'll have what you got, Gregory.
25 now for your Walmart.
And then I'll go work on a Mercury.
For a car.
Gotta work on that thing and get it done this morning so the guy can have his car back this weekend.
Something like what's on. That's it, steering wheel. Look, making real rubber.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, Mom?
Yep, there's Tim, Catfish Dog, saying, "What you got, Gregory?
Anything?
What'd you get, Gregory?" He's still unpacking his sack. Tim's got like 20 eyeballs on you.
I'm 7.
Show Dad.
Oh, I seen it. It's fine.
I got a 9.5.
Shh. Okay, just chill. Hey, Ernie. Shh. All right, Gregory, come and show us what you got. I'm done with the jig. We're waiting on you, son. What you got, Gregory? Shh. Here, let me get out of the way and you can get over in there. So for those that are new, this is Gregory, the other half of double hook angling. So that's why we call it double hook. And this is what you got, Gregory segment. So what you got, Gregory? What you got? You gonna tell him? Tell him what you got. For those that don't know, he doesn't talk to people. So yeah, there's some animals in there too. Look, there's Gregory's twin, a gorilla.
Oh, I need to see a picture.
Yeah, that's somebody 3D printed that or epoxied that. That's epoxy, ain't it? Yeah, that's an epoxy dragon. He's got some broken spines on his back. Somebody was playing with it pretty hard, wasn't they? A postal vehicle. Yeah, look, show them, don't show me. It's a Jeep. That's pretty cool. Look. Misplaced country girl. She made it. Hi, Denise. How you doing? I like that Jeep. And then you got some more britches. You need some because you have a couple of them and get holes in the butt. Starting to see your undies. Is that all you got? All right, tell them bye. Smart Alec. Says awesome, Gregory. Hi, Double. Very cool stuff, Gregory, Tom said. Well, yeah, you made it just in time to see Gregory's What You Got segment, and I gotta go work on a Mercury. We'll tie a couple more jigs maybe, and it's not quite 9 o'clock yet, but usually when we do the What You Got, Gregory, after that everybody jumps out. So hi, bye, Gregory. Denise said hi and bye. I know y'all come to see Gregory. You're just stuck watching me tie jigs because you want to see Gregory. So we'll tie up a couple more of these. But yeah, we're going to go off to Wichita this afternoon after lunch and have him eat lunch first before we leave, so we don't. I hate having to pay somebody to cooked food that we get. So, but yeah. So, anyways, and then my other son Matthew, he got a laptop computer for 15 bucks at the. Shh. You don't have to yell. I'm right here. He got a Dell computer, which I'm not a fan of Dells. I think they're junk. But for what he does with it, just getting on YouTube and stuff like that, or doing some little things, it'll work just fine for him. So, hey NJ, what's up? Well, hopefully you got to see Gregory do his thrift store finds. He got a bag of cars again and a Mel Jeep toy, and then a pair of breeches. So some camouflage breeches. And if y'all don't know, Gregory wears nothing but camouflage, mostly military camouflage. But I mean, he wears it to church. He wears it everywhere. I mean, he just that's what he doing. So we're tying up some jigs. I did not put enough blue and enough feather in that. It just doesn't. Even though I put the flash on there, we're gonna stick a couple more feathers in there. Just doesn't look thick enough to me. So we'll put this feather there. We'll lay it right between them flashies. It'll be fine. I'll flip that over, let the curve come out. There we go, that'll look better. All right, there, that looks better. Yep, this is a fishing channel. We do a lot of fishing here, but we do a lot of tying jigs, because that's my business, is tying jigs. So if y'all are interested in jigs, you know, you can hit me up, message me, whatever, and we'll get some jigs out to you. Like I said, with the U.S. Postal Service, not, well, that's fine. You don't like fishing, that's okay. With your emoji, it looks like you like gaming and stuff. No, sorry, we're not a gaming channel. But we like to tie jigs, because that's what I do. I tie jigs. So we tie all different kinds of jigs. So there's some jigs. There's some more jigs. There's some more jigs. This is my #1 seller. This is called the Gray Ghost. And then we have some OG jigs, you know, some old school stuff. So, and then we have we do little jigs as well. And then we do some really little jigs. So, yep, jigs are what a fish eats. It's basically just a feather lure, and it's mostly for like crappie and stuff like that. Hey Jody, how you doing, girl? Jody likes blue. I know she likes blue. That's what we've been tying up this morning, Jody, is blue jigs. Some 1/16 on some size 4 hooks. So we got a whole bunch of blue feathers. I'll tie all those up in the next day or so. We'll burn through that whole deal. I got 200 blue jig heads poured up and painted up. So we'll get we just keep going with this the whole way through. So I'm going to have a blue day. How do you fishing the knot? So like the knot that I try, the knot that I tie on here is a loop knot. And it's basically an overhand knot, and you overhand put the line through the jig, and then you overhand it and run the jig head or jig through the knot or the loop 3 times, and then pull, and that's the knot that I use. It's a very strong knot, and We catch bass and catfish and everything else on the jigs sometimes using that knot, and it holds up just fine. So, but with the jigs, it's better to use a loop knot with jigs. That way they have full free movement and they're not tied hard to the line. These feathers, like I said, they're just awful thin. We're going to add a couple more in this one. Gregory keep running back and forth behind me, putting stuff in his room.
Yeah, ain't next Friday New Year's Eve.
Next Friday is the day after Christmas. Christmas is next Thursday. Christmas Eve is next Wednesday. So they're going to have a church service Wednesday evening. They won't have a dinner at church, but they're going to have cookies after church service. They're going to do, it's basically, instead of doing a Bible study and stuff, that's going to be all singing and just hanging out and having a joyful time. We are in Kansas, South Central Kansas. We are actually, right now I'm sitting in Kingman, Kansas. So you can look up on Google where Kingman, Kansas is at. It's in the middle of nowhere. We are 30 miles away from shopping and stuff. So when we go to town, it takes us a half an hour to get to town. But there you go, Jody. There's your blue jig.
Get it on.
Yes, we have rivers in Kansas, but in my part of Kansas, the rivers are like 4 inches deep. Not very big rivers. We fish ponds and reservoirs. We have no natural lakes here. I think there's only one natural lake in Kansas. Everything is dammed up rivers. We're pretty flat for the most part. In my area, like I said, I got a river that's two blocks from my house, and the water's probably 6 inches deep right now. But we have a mill race that runs through the park, and so the water's probably 5 foot deep in that mill race. It's like a flood control. They have gates and stuff for the water to back up and fill, and it's probably about 5 foot deep or so. So it gets fish in there, but 9 times out of 10, we're going to a pond or a little reservoir or something like that. So we have a pond out at our farm.
Yes.
We have a family farm, and we have a pond out there that's about 12 foot deep on one end, and about 6 foot, 7 foot deep on the other end. And it's a long skinny, so it's 110 foot wide, I think, and then about 400 or 500 feet long. So it's a nice pond. Got a dock on it, and once in a while I'll take my kayak out there because I'm in a wheelchair. So for those that are new here, you can see maybe. So I'm in a wheelchair. So I do what I can. But I'm very active and get out and I'll tear up the fishing, man, let me tell you. I fish a couple days a week, even during the winter we'll fish. But we mostly fish for panfish, so crappie and bluegill.
Yes.
But we do fish for bass and catfish, and walleye and hybrids, and I mean just anything. But we mostly fish for panfish. Skeeter, how you doing? Oh, I've fished since I was a little kid. I lived in Texas when I was a little kid and really got involved in fishing down there. We lived on a lake. And then we moved to Kansas, and my dad said, hey, there's a river 3 miles north of town, because I lived in Haven at that time. And rode my bike up there, and then I found the creek. And because it only had, I mean, it's what I thought was a creek, but it was an actual river. And we you know, so I started to learn to fish Kansas waters, so completely different than where I was used to down in Texas. If you would build a heated dock in Kansas, we could charge $5 a person. Yeah, there's a couple heated docks here in Kansas. The bad thing is if you build a heated dock like in Wichita at the Watson Park, they talked about, or Sedgwick County Park, they talked about they took the dock house out of there, and they talked about building an aluminum one that was heated. But if they do that, you're going to have all the homeless people sleeping in it. That'll be the biggest problem. But yeah, they need to. I would pay $5 to go fish in a heated dock if it was good and clean and what have you. They kept it up. There's one in Marion at Marion County Lake. That's a real good one. We fished it a few times, and they just rebuilt it a couple years back, and it's got some good brush piles and stuff underneath it. But it's free. It doesn't cost nothing to fish it. But it is heated, so you can go there when it's really cold and it's 60 degrees inside, 65, something like that. You can take your jacket off in there, or your coat. There's some guys that go down there and they'll go out and they'll fish the outside and walk, because it's got a walkway all the way around it. They'll fish the outside, and then they'll come in and warm up for an hour or half hour or whatever, and then they'll go back outside and brave the cold and fish in the cold for a half hour, and then they'll come back in and kind of just keep switching off like that. No, there's not here in our rural part, but 30 miles away in Wichita, Kansas. Wichita has a population of about 500,000 people. And the last count, there was 700 and some homeless people there. They're doing another homeless count. They do that so they can help them, you know, get some grants and stuff like that to help the homeless population. But in our rural part, there's a few homeless here in our community, and but they sleep in cars, or you know, they sleep in you know, like or they just stay with people, you know, jump from house to house to house. I don't know if we actually have any that sleep outside during the winter here. Our little community helps out. You know, there's plenty of churches and stuff like that here in town that help people, because our town's only like 3,000 people, but we have like 11 churches, so there's quite a bit of help for people here. Even our law enforcement will, if you're homeless here in town and it's going to be a real blistery cold night, the churches will help you get basically a pass that you can go stay at one of our motels, because our motels aren't very expensive here, you know. A couple of the motels are like $60, and no, I'm not ex-military. I've got I broke my back at the farm, but I have underlying bone problems. You know, I got osteoarthritis, and just basically I break my bones pretty easy too. So I've broken 30 some bones. But while I was at the farm, I broke my back out there. That was 16 or 17 years ago. So it, whoops, almost didn't double knot that. 16 or 17 years ago is when I broke my back. So it's been a while. But I do all kinds of things. So like when I get done doing this, I'm gonna go out into my shop, and I have a gentleman that brought me his Mercury Sable, the mice ate into the wire and all that. I was a farmer. I did. I grew a bunch of vegetables and stuff like that, but I don't no more. We still have a farm. My mother-in-law, it's her place, and we just live on it. So, hey, there's J Dog. How you doing, brother? So, but yeah, so I have a lot of ex-military friends and stuff too. So, I do know the struggle of being, ex-military, via through them. But yeah, we had a farm, and when I broke my back, we moved into town into this place, and I like this place because it's so wide open and it's all concrete floors, and I got a shop attached, so I work on cars and stuff like that. I have a 64 V8 Rambler that I'm rebuilding right now, and then I'm working on a Mercury Sable. The mice ate the wires underneath the hood of the Mercury Sable, so.
A little plug-in and just the butter. You don't need an oven.
But the farm that I'm referring to, it's not a very big farm. It's only 138 acres. So, but it's got a nice pond on it and a big old house and stuff like that. So, it's in my videos from time to time, or in my lives from time to time. So, but like I said, I'm done doing that dozen jigs. Actually, 3, 6, 9, 12. I did 13. So we did it, or I did 14 because I had that one that I didn't put the flash in it. So this is kind of here's a look of the ones I did. And then I still have all that to do. So I keep filling that box back up. It's like a never ending thing. You get some rid of them, and then you get some back. So, but before I leave, I'll go run out to the shop real quick. So let me, Gregory's pheasant feathers on the ceiling and a couple stains from the water lines in the ceiling where they get sweaty and drip. So don't, nobody worry about them, because I'm not going to spend $14 a tile changing them out. So, whoops, bang the door. Hold on a minute. I'll make you look at the sky for a second. So we just went from the house to the shop. So there's my Rambler. So it's still in primer and stuff. And then there's the Sable I'm working on. So let me pull this door shut, and then I'll show you what the problem is with the Sable. For one thing, dude needs to change his air filter a little bit more often, but I'm going to have a talk with him about that. But if you look, let me get you up in there. I don't know how well you can see it, but if you look right here, the mice ate that wire through. So I got to repair that. I mean, it's an easy fix, but then they ate one of the fuel lines over on this other side too. So, but anyways, y'all, with that being said, I need to get to work on this little blue thing, or I should say big blue thing, because that's a big car. It takes up like half my shop. But I do need to get to work on that thing and get it finished up. And I've already repaired one wire, and now I got to repair that wire, that fuel injector, because it's only running on 7 cylinders, not the full 8. I would get up there and show you the engine in this, but I got a tool cart and stuff in the way, and I'm not going to try to move a bunch of stuff to get up there to show you. But I just learned the car work out of necessity. I was always too poor to pay somebody to do it for me, so I just started doing it myself. So, but I got, and then I got there's my shop chair, so I don't scratch up mine too bad or get mine all greasy, and I'll just jump in that and I'll get to work. So like I said, with that being said, y'all have a blessed day. Go tie something, go do something, go be something, get off your butt. You know, it's no excuse to just sit around. I mean, look at me. I do everything that I do, and of course, I got an excuse to sit around all day because I have a broken back. But you know, at least I got a wheelchair I can move around and get around. So y'all go do something and take care. Have a wonderful and blessed day, and remember, God is the true answer. Believe in Jesus, and if you don't, I encourage you to at least read the Bible and get a little understanding of it. So we'll see y'all later. Have a great day.
Yep, yep, yep.